Today, we become legends.
Hey, my name's Inter, and welcome back to the channel for some Smite 2 OB13 data mining. There's quite a lot of interesting stuff in this post, so I thought it was worth covering. As it says up at the top, there's some evolution skins that are looking like they might be coming to the game, which look like kind of like tier 5 light is how I would describe it. There's some information on Baldr, there's some information on Hou Yi, Jormungandr, a bunch of new gods as well. Or not new gods, I should say, a bunch of ported gods information further down as well. So yeah, without further ado, let's just jump right in. Actually, small amount of further ado. Data mining obviously is just providing early insights into what high-res is developing. It's not always 100% accurate. If you see something in data mining, don't assume it's going to come to the game guaranteed. It could be something they just worked on for like a little bit and then decided it wasn't really going to work. It could be drastically changed from what appears in data mining. So don't take any of this as gospel, but it can provide good early insights into what high-res is working on. But yeah, now let's jump right in. So I think the first thing up here is the evolution skins. So it says OB13 lower blurb event. I assume that's like placeholder. New tab in the season page called the Caravan. New Vulcan evolution skin available in this Caravan. You can obtain coins by playing, which can be used to evolve the skin or spend them in other travelers. You can earn 100 coins per each 10 wins. Vulcan skin is called Emberlord. The skin has 3 tiers, a skull turret, and the Emberlord collection includes some other stuff like ward skins. Here's the model for the Vulcan skin. As it says here, there's no lighting, so it's going to look a bit terrible compared to like what it would look like in game. But to be honest, this looks pretty cool overall anyway. Like obviously it's low res with no lighting, but I think like with proper lighting and, you know, in-game and stuff, that's going to look really cool, honestly. I'm not really a Vulcan player, but I'd be excited if one of these kind of skins was coming for a god I play. And yeah, of course, it's got various different, like, evolution tiers. I assume, like, this kind of like just seal armor one is the base, and then you've got evolution 1 with like the skull on the back and stuff like that, and then I don't know if this is just the front of evolution 1 or if that's like another stage to it or whatever. But yeah, basically what this looks like is sort of tier 5 light. You know, I'm not sure if I'd call this a full tier 5 skin. You know, it's probably not going to have the same level of in-depthness as like a tier 5 skin has, like all the evolutions and special effects and stuff like that. But it seems like this is their way of sort of introducing a like tier 5 style skin that doesn't take as much work to make, and it's probably going to be significantly cheaper to get, which I think is pretty cool. You know, they've said some stuff up here, like you can obtain coins, which sounds like Wandering Market coins, but then like 100 coins per 10 wins. That's not like the Wandering Market coin earn rate. It's much faster than that. And it says it's going to be in a caravan. You know, this doesn't say traveler. You know, it sounds like almost a traveler market kind of thing. Maybe that's just like the internal, like maybe they were going to be called caravans and they're still calling them caravans internally, but they're called travelers in game. That could be possible. Or it's entirely possible the caravan is a new thing that's going to be in like the Wandering Market or whatever. You're going to have travelers, but you're also going to have the caravan, which maybe is like, you know, a shop that's permanently there and has stuff rotating into it or something like that. That would be kind of cool, I think. You know, some kind of permanent shop. Maybe you could put boosters in there, and then you could also have like skins occasionally rotating into there that you can just buy for your Wandering Market coins rather than having to buy the actual skin. That would be very player friendly and probably won't make them a whole lot of money, but it would be very good to get some goodwill for the community. You know, if it was just like a shop always available that stuff just rotates in and you can just buy it with your excess Wandering Market coins, because if you play the game a lot like I do, you've got a lot of excess Wandering Market coins sitting around. Even when I buy most of the travelers and every single Wandering Market collection, I still have a lot of coins lying around, so being able to spend them at like a caravan with rotating stuff could be cool. That's entirely be speculating though. You know, I have no idea what this is actually going to be. And yeah, it also says you can use the coins to evolve the skin or spend them in other travelers. So it sounds like, you know, you're going to be able to buy the base skin or whatever, and then you can use your market coins. It kind of sounds like prisms, but like much more enhanced. You know, this is obviously way more than a prism. This changes way more about the skin than a prism will do. So maybe it's sort of like a hybrid between like a prism and an actual tier 5, you know, some kind of in between with that. But yeah, this seems super interesting. Also, they mentioned Artemis was going to have one. I'm not sure if this is still in here or not. Yeah, evolution skins. We already have more info as the previous mentioned Vulcan skin. Artemis is potentially getting one evolution skin too. Yeah, in previous data mining, we saw that Artemis was potentially going to be getting one of these as well. The Vulcan one seems a lot further along now though, so you know, it says OB14. Maybe that will get revealed tomorrow on the patch notes show. This looks like really cool stuff, man. And then maybe like Artemis will get one in OB15, OB16 or something like that. But these seem like really cool skins. I imagine there'll be a price premium on them most likely, because that is a lot of extra work to make a skin like this. It's sort of like a tier 5, as I said. But I doubt there'll be like tier 5 level pricing, because they're not as crazy. Yeah, in terms of other skins though, Cabrakan Nerd Rage, we kind of already knew this was coming. They basically confirmed it. They said Cabrakan's getting a skin, and the next skin for Cabrakan will be Nerd Rage. Agni Infinite Duality is coming. Really cool skin. That's going to have prisms. Basically, I feel like every skin they're bringing to the game at this point has prisms, which is pretty cool. Apollo Bit Blaster, we already knew was coming that has prisms as well. A Wheelix Renegade, an absolute classic skin for a Wheelix that's going to have prisms too. Cerberus Infinite Overseer, another of the Infinite skins, really cool prisms. Fenrir Wolfman, no prisms, at least not from data mining right now. GEB1 for Geb, also no prisms. Balan Sentai, prisms. Neath Misdiagnosis, classic skin, probably one of the most iconic Smite skins, has prisms. Nemesis Blind Vengeance also has prisms. Is that her tier 2 or is that like a normal Nemesis skin? I can't actually remember. That sounds like it might be her tier 2, but I highly doubt that. Otherwise, why would it be coming and have prisms and stuff? So it's probably a regular Nemesis skin. Nuwa Raven Strike has prisms, and Sol Vampiress also has prisms. So yeah, an absolute ton of news on various skins. Those evolution skins seem really cool. There's a bunch of skins that are in the pipeline. You know, not all of these are going to be in the next update or anything, obviously, but you know, these are some of the skins you can expect to see coming out over the next, you know, 2, 3, 4 updates or something like that. Moving on though, there's been some updates to the God release schedule. So obviously Hou Yi and Janus are now 100% confirmed for OB15 and OB16. We got that news yesterday from Titan Talk. Beyond that though, Jormungandr has jumped from a 25% chance to an 80% chance, and they did mention that it's going to be a Guardian after Janus and then an Assassin or Jungler after the Guardian. It seemed like it was going to be Sylvanas. Sylvanas was previously an 85% chance. He's now gone down to 50, and it looks like Jorm is going to be the Guardian that's coming after Janus, most likely, at least according to this mining. And then the only other Assassin that's in data mining is Ratatosko, so I would imagine Ratatosko is probably coming after Jormungandr, because they said a Jungler is coming after the next Guardian, which is after Janus. In fairness, I'm pretty sure on Titan Talk they didn't say Guardian necessarily, they said support, so it could be Horus, but Jormungandr has a higher chance than Horus at the moment in this data mining. But obviously, these chances are a little bit arbitrary. Sylvanas was an 85% chance previously, looking like he was going to be the next god after these two, and then it turns out it might be Jormungandr, so take these percent chances with a grain of salt. And then Baldr has gone up from a 20 to a 25% chance as well for OB17+. There's a little bit of Baldr kit information as well. We had some information on him before, but I think we got a little bit more information. So we got base stats. I think we talked about those before. The base stats are basically akin to a Guardian style base stats. The max health and protections are basically in line with most Guardians. They are slightly higher than most warriors. Obviously, we don't have classes in Smite 2, but they're slightly higher than what most warriors from Smite 1 would be, and they're significantly higher than what a Squishy would be. They're some of the highest max health and protection base stats in the game, so he's definitely going to be a Guardian by the looks of these base stats. He's got a 3 basic attack combo, magical basic attacks, so yeah, again, that leads towards him being a Guardian if he's going to be magical. Second and third hit can hit multiple enemies, so he's got a little bit of a cleave in there, maybe a bit of solo lane potential. Adding a cleave always makes him have a little bit more solo potential because he can clear the wave more effectively. Ability 1 is a deployable attack, 60-degree angle and 9.5 meter radius, pushes enemies and is using Baron Sandby's ultimate vortex as a template. Ability 2 has an inner and outer damage area and cleanses the target, so yeah, cleanse definitely leans in more into like being a Guardian, being a supportive kind of Guardian potentially. Cleanses are generally put on, you know, the supportive Guardians like Geb and Khepri and Hell. If you want to count Hell as a support, which is definitely support viable sometimes. Ability 3 attacks in multiple directions, center, left, and right, probably across with our backward line. I think we saw this last time in the data mining, and ability 4 is going to be a leap, so probably a big way to engage, maybe some knock up or whatever. We got a little bit of Hou Yi information, not really too much new actually, but there is the new effect on his passive that they mentioned on Titan Talk has been data mined here. So after being critically hit or taking more than 20% of your health in a single blow, you become sun touched. When you become sun touched, your active cooldowns are reduced and to be determined, so there might be something extra on the end there. But you get a little bit of a cooldown refresh every time you get bursted for more than 20% of your health, or every time you get crit. I'm not sure if this is going to have an internal cooldown or not, because if it's every time you get crit, this could be kind of insane. Obviously, crits do a lot of damage, and you're not going to want to, you know, be taking loads of crits just to reduce your cooldowns. But, you know, maybe if there's some smaller crits coming your way, like, I don't know, like Kali's 0.5 hits, or like Charybdis' triple hit, or something like that. If all 3 of those crit and you get 3 procs on this passive, that could be kind of insane. But yeah, that's cool to see. Yeah, obviously, Hou Yi's passive historically has just been like really useless outside of crit metas, because all it does is anti-crit, and they did a similar thing with Geb's passive as well coming into Smite 2. You know, it was previously just anti-crit, they now made it like anti-basic attack, and like whenever you take more than a certain amount of your max health, it's just reduced down to like a certain percentage. Ricochet seems all normal, nothing too crazy there. The 2 seems normal, the 3 seems normal, and the ultimate also seems normal, so it seems like maybe the passive is the only +1 that's currently programmed in for Hou Yi. Obviously, he is a little while out. We're going to see Wukong tomorrow, and then it'll be 2 weeks after tomorrow that we start seeing Hou Yi, so they may not have everything fully planned in yet. They did mention some potential +1s that he's getting on the show yesterday, but yeah, they're clearly not in yet, or at least not when this data mining snapshot was taken. And there's a little bit of his model here as well. Obviously, no lighting again. It's going to look a lot better when in the official game, but yeah, looks like no major model changes, just quality upgrades. Janus, nothing new. We saw this in previous data mining. It is literally just one component of his passive right there. Wukong, I think, is a couple of new things. So before it said increased strength and intelligence. Now it says that you get some power and some protections, which makes sense for Wukong, buff duration 8 seconds. But the weird thing is, like, it says increased strength and intelligence on the passive, but all of the abilities are purely strength scaling. So it's kind of weird, you know. There's some things pointing towards Wukong's going to be entirely strength scaling, and there are some things pointing towards he might have int scaling. Could be an aspect that gives him int scaling, or could be they were originally going to give him int scaling and they aren't now, or the other way around. They were originally not going to give him int scaling and now they have. It seems like there's some conflicting information here. And also, basic attack chain of 4 is normal for Wukong, but the basic attack can have an active effect and consumes mana. That sounds maybe like an aspect. Maybe like in his aspect or something, his basic attack fires his 1 but consumes mana, so he could just keep like pinging you over and over again, and that's his basic attack. That would be quite a cool concept, I think. So that could be pretty cool. You know, that's most likely an aspect thing. I doubt they bring that into his base kit. That'd probably be a bit little too wild for like a base kit thing. Normally, if they do more wild stuff, it's usually in an aspect, you know, with like Scylla and Merlin or whatever. But yeah, that is it for the OB13 data mining. So some pretty interesting stuff, you know, a bit on Wukong, a bit on Baldr, some Hou Yi stuff, tons of information on skins and these potential new like evolving skins, which look really cool, I think. It's a shame the first 2 are for Vulcan and Artemis. I do not play those gods, man, but once one of my characters gets a skin like this, I'm gonna be pretty happy because these seem like really cool, and this Vulcan skin looks sick, honestly. And yeah, it says OB14 here for that, so we might honestly get to see some of this stuff tomorrow when they do the full OB14 showcase. But yeah, let me know all of your thoughts on this down below. Do you like these new evolving skins? You excited for them? You excited for Baldr? Excited for Jormungandr, I guess? I'm not personally, but are you? Let me know down below, and I will catch you guys for another one later on. Have a great day, and peace out, you nerds.